Yep, everyone for the finance meeting here.
And
And Jason.
Okay, welcome to the Board of Education regular meeting of the Finance Committee at the Board of Education Office 382 Long Hill Avenue in the first floor boardroom, Tuesday, November 11th, 2025. The time is 5:31. Can I get a roll call, please?
James Orzetti.
Here.
Joan Littlefield.
Here.
Patricia Moonen.
Here.
Anthony Smaraglino. Also in attendance, Dr. Ken Saranich, Jackie Toolings, Tracy Hussey, Kate Kutash, Lorraine Rossner, Jason Neves, and Amy Romano.
All right, can we get a rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
To the flag of the United
Public.
God.
Okay. Any approval of the agenda, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Thank
I'll
you.
second.
Second by Joan. All in favor?
Aye.
What happened?
It's stuck.
Motion carries. Review and approval of the following reports to the committee. Can I get a approval of the finance meeting minutes for September 24th?
I'll make a motion to
I'll
approve those
second.
minutes.
Thank you, Patty. Thank you, Anthony. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. We get a public comment. Public comment. Anyone here wish to make a public comment to the Finance Committee? Seeing none, we'll move on to the agenda items. Finance report. All yours,
Okay.
Jackie.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight I will be presenting expenditure report that reflects financial activity for the 3 months of expenditure 2026 full year for the period ending September 30th, 2025. Total certified staff shows a year-to-date expenditure of total non-certified staff shows a year-to-date expenditure of $7 million. Employee benefits, account 520 health insurance, shows a year-to-date expenditure of $4.9 million, 47% of its budget. Annualized, the health insurance has a projected expenditure of
Oof.
Okay, could we make get the comment for the line item? Under healthcare is budgeted at $8 million.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we asked for 12 million and we're given 8 million
We asked for
With
12 plus the,
with the 2 million reserved, and we were denied that.
So we have a projection of $16.8 million, and we are currently at $4.19 million, 48.7% of healthcare. The committee recommends sending a notice to the city aldermen.
I think it's a good idea. Yeah.
Again, I think we sent one
Last year and the year
also.
before.
We sent one last meeting.
Probably not this year.
Okay,
Yeah.
can I get a motion to authorize the letters?
I'll make that motion to authorize that letter.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Patty. Joan?
Second it.
All in favor? Everybody's in favor, so motion
Yes.
carries. We will ask the chairman to draw up a letter with the superintendent notifying the city fathers and mothers of
And mothers.
the sisters and everybody else of the projected overage. Okay, Jack.
Okay,
That
total
was a-
professional services shows a year-to-date expenditure of $1.15 million. Professional services sped account 5336, deficit requiring significant support.
Mhm.
This is a line where they moved from tuition to professional. That's what. But at the end of last fiscal, at these.
Okay.
Total tuition showing a year-to-date expenditure of approximately $5 million and an unfavorable $195,000. excess cost grant funding will be allocated 551, Fed public, 55, Fed private. Year-to-date expenditures total $27,504,000. BOE, all favorable, approximately 50, with 34.1% of expended, 5.9%. Then I listed last year, September of 2024, the year-to-date expenditure $26,107,007. The Board of Education related overall favorable, approximately $5 million, 30% of its budget expended, 7%. And I added the year-to-date health insurance.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions regarding the expenditure?
Jackie, in the spreadsheet printout for period 2026, period 02, are these through August or through?
So this
Okay, I was looking. Okay, a little bit later.
Yes.
And the sped expenditures we expect adequate?
Not sure how much, we don't know the excess cost, hasn't been yet that.
Excess cost should. Okay.
So there's going to be.
Question? Anthony, go ahead.
My question is that, yes, you're gonna send them a letter, we all agree to that, but there's other areas we're thinking too. I mean, why just tell them about one thing, bunch of things? Then, Josh's point, that would have covered probably that. So, what I'm saying is we might as well say here we are at this point, but that's only a discussion.
That's a very good point. We are over in more than just healthcare, and with the expenditures showing the overages they are. My question to the committee: would they recommend that this to the superintendent freezing and reducing expenditures in areas? I've done.
You know,
He usually does.
and we usually do, but understand that we have very few dollars to freeze at this point, that it's not even going to make a significant difference on where we are in the areas that, yeah. And I don't even know, and Jack, I don't mean to put you on the spot, like just in terms of percentage wise of how much money we have, I'm going to say that flexibility, the instructional line items is what we would freeze. And that's
at this point, Mr. Superintendent, I'm not asking you exactly what you're going to do. I would ask that the board recommend that you do what you can to freeze and reduce expenditures. The healthcare overages, this is not a $1-2 million overage. This is extraordinary.
Mhm.
But and I would just explain myself. We can and we will and we have, but you're only talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars relative to what we can freeze.
Not going to make up the 8 mil.
It's not even, we're not even looking at, I think, $500,000 I can freeze of what we have left to freeze.
I'm still asking the committee for that recommendation. because this shows the due diligence of the Board of Finance.
But we showed due diligence, showed last year. After a while.
And each year we send the superintendent a notification.
And I just, point of order to the Finance Committee, to Mr. Rossetti's recommendation. I mean, there's a certain point where we still have to instruct students. And if I freeze the little money I have left, here in November, how will we continue to instruct students for the rest of the year? I mean, we're going to run out of operational money to run a school system, let alone, I mean, unless we're talking about cutting programs, which I'm not recommending in any way whatsoever, but are we gonna tell our teachers no more copy paper for the rest of the year? I mean, are we gonna? I'm just trying to. I mean, that's in essence what we use the money that's left is to just do consumables. Things that are and.
Okay.
Can
I fully understand your point. Joan, you have a question?
Sure, I want to make a point. I think it might be worth stating in the letter, if the superintendent can provide some language for it, to state that the consumables and the instructional materials are already cut back as far as they can be cut back, just to show that cost containment is already taking place. And we're already carrying over a lot of the cost containment that we started a couple of years ago, with the April school shutdowns and things like that. So if we can demonstrate that the cost containment is already as tight as is feasible, it makes it clear that there's no way to make up these shortfalls
Well, no,
through operational.
I didn't say that, but I would think that a notification just to make sure that we are doing everything that we possibly can for a reduction.
We have been, and to Anthony's point.
We're not at the point that we're going to be out of money in springtime. We are there.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
But to Anthony's point, I mean, we have done this in the past, and we continue to do it. And this budget was bare bones.
I don't see any harm in the letter going to the superintendent. He already knows what he has to do. I believe he does. But
I think
it's just
Joan has a good
basically a
suggestion.
formality from us.
Yeah.
So either it's a yay or nay. So Anthony,
I say nay.
Joan,
Sorry, hearing a door being
I'm
knocked
just
on.
asking for a recommendation now. Yes, no. Send a letter advising.
Oh, the letter, yes. I'm sorry, forgive me. But as far as my daughter talking about.
To the superintendent. Well, a notification to the superintendent.
From us to
From
him.
us,
Well,
right.
To make,
Perhaps if we phrase it appropriately and
Right.
in a very supportive rather than in a,
You care to craft it, I'm all for it.
very diplomatically crafted. So, and I'll go on record to say that, to continue containing costs as best as possible, understanding that things are already tight.
We're already
I wouldn't
there.
say like, hey, guys, you got to tighten your
I would
belts.
make a motion
You don't need a letter, you just make a motion.
Yeah,
Okay.
make a
We do that all the
motion.
time.
Okay,
Yeah.
to continue to contain costs as best we can.
Okay, the finance committee all in
Correct.
favor of that?
Making that motion.
Okay, I agree with what Joan said.
Joan, you want to
Make sure
phrase that?
you-
Make a motion.
Does it have to be better than what I just said?
No, you just said it right.
I think the superintendent's sitting right here. I think he pretty much gets it.
Yes, I think
Got the
Um,
gist.
The
Okay.
finance committee is I guess recommending it.
So I
advising the
move to
superintendent.
recommend to the superintendent to continue his cost containment measures that have been carried through thus far.
Due to the extreme overages we're
Yeah,
experiencing.
due to
All
our,
right, so that's good.
You got a second?
Anthony?
I'll second.
Second that? Okay, all in
Okay.
favor?
I'll favor.
aye.
Okay, aye, so, superintendent? Right.
I
Thank you.
have another question. School bus fuel at 87%. Refresh my memory, is all the fuel in our pocket? Locked in? But the budget, once we hit 100%, we still have to pay. Won't go. there isn't something the city's gonna fill in blanks. Okay.
Bill.
There are certain things with the bus contract that are still so gray. Hey,
Okay.
Dora Zetti, may I make a comment?
Yes, Ms. Romano?
Hi. Okay, so I was already proactive once I saw the numbers and I said, I'm gonna send a letter.
All right.
I did that already now, but I just want to say I was sending the letter for a reason, more just focusing on healthcare. I mean, if we look at last year's budget, we were able to mitigate certain things, and we always are able to mitigate certain things. We do. We
did.
You know, we do. But the reason why I didn't start including like everything else in the budget, because I think that healthcare is it's double. Like there's something wrong. Like, so my letter is a little bit different. I have it written here already. It's more saying like, hey, something's wrong. We're double the amount of what we normally are. Like, this is alarming. And I would please request a meeting to have, you know, and I just sort of threw that on kind of like, hey, hope you don't mind, but this is what I would like to put in the letter. I think that they all need to sort of sit down, whether it's Jackie, it's Ken, whoever it would be, you know, for us and them to sit down and say, and with the insurance broker and say, what is happening with these costs? Because is it just that they're just all piling in from summer? You know, is there something that someone got really sick and
I was
there's,
just gonna ask
you know,
that.
high claims? Like before we all start getting, right, you know, even more worried about everything else, I think that they need to explain what is happening with those claims coming in, and they could analyze them and break them down, and then Ken could report back to the board. So that was what my letter is basically saying.
I think that's a great idea.
You want me to read it?
I could read it.
Well, just, if we can add to that, on behalf of Jimmy and I, who will not be here
Right.
after
I'm
this
not going to be
meeting.
here either. So that's
And you, so on behalf of the three of us, if you were, because we're running away. If you can say, you know, this is our notice to the Board of Aldermen that it looks like we may have up to $16 million expenses on healthcare costs, and we're only budgeted at 8.1 or whatever it is, then it helps us because we won't be here later if the city comes back and says the board that was finishing in November 2025 is going to be held liable for going over budget.
right.
And then move into the discussion part of it.
Yeah. I mean,
Exactly.
it does. If you want, I could read it out loud.
Yeah, that'd be great.
What I wrote. All right. You have a minute.
So you
All right.
sent it over.
No, it
No,
doesn't.
it's right
It
here.
doesn't. I just asked Kaylee to type it. Dear Board of Alderman members and Mayor Loretti, after reviewing the Board of Education's financials through September 30th, I must bring to your attention a significant and urgent concern regarding our healthcare expenditures. Our current spending is averaging $1.397164 per month, which is nearly double the amount allocated in our approved budget. This level of expense is unprecedented. I can't even talk, sorry, precedented. And if continued, it would represent an all-time record high for our district. Given the seriousness of these figures and the impact that they may have on both the Board of Education and the city's long-term financial stability, I believe it is essential that we address this matter promptly. Although my term, and Jimmy and I are both on this letter, concludes at the end of the month, I respectfully request that a meeting be convened between the Board of Education, the city, and our insurance brokers. Such a discussion is necessary to fully evaluate the current policy, understand the drivers, and assess projected trends for the remainder of the fiscal year. Thank you for your attention in this critical issue. I strongly encourage timely collaboration so we can determine appropriate and responsible path forward. And then I would sign in, Jimmy. Is that sufficient for everyone?
Yes.
I could change it.
What?
One at a time.
Finance meeting.
One at a time.
Go ahead. You have something to say, Anthony?
Yeah, what I'm saying is, going back to what I originally said, is that we're not going to shock them once, or you're going to shock them again. You look at these numbers, we're going to be below budget on other items. So it's not going to be just that. And I think that we should really take a look at it, you know, and say, what is going to be the total projected loss? That's what I'm saying. I mean, you're going to give them that, and eventually they're going to say to us, why didn't you tell us about this other stuff? That's my point.
Well, we to your point, Anthony, last year, we did come under budget in a few certain line items. We also, but we're pointing out our main problems here, right? which are just that. Last year was healthcare and sped. And the finance committee has been saying for the last 2 years, my tenure, that we cannot predict sped or our financing of healthcare. It's been a total, since COVID, it's been totally unpredictable, off the charts. And this is right here, right now. This is the worst that I've seen. Okay, we are.
Oh, yeah.
This is the worst they were at. And here's the thing. I don't like leaving things for other people to clean up, but this is going to be. We are notifying them. We notified them last month in September. Amy and I both sent a letter, and I wasn't exactly sure on the numbers Jackie gave us tonight. Projection is double our budgeted for healthcare.
Can I
Mr. Superintendent?
To Anthony's point, and I respect that point of sharing, but I want to bring a perspective of the other variables we have somewhat control over. We also are going to get, excess cost grants back to try to subsidize. So that's still a moving target. The critical thing about healthcare is we have no control over it. Not only how it's driven up by the costs of the employees, but the selection of the plan wasn't even ours.
Right.
We don't even have say in terms of what plan we're using. That's driven by the city. They chose the plan. The
cost.
And all of that is done through city. So that's where, we have done analysis of our budget. If the city took healthcare out of our budget, and it's because they select the plan, they took it out of our budget, we would be on budget. We would be able to work within and stay on track of budget. But that is, and I know we talk about special ed, but there's variances there. But the healthcare is the number one driver. And if anything, to satisfy your point, with the letter, my recommendation is that we send them the latest financial report so they can see all the numbers.
With the notification.
I know, but again, with the letter, I know we send it to them, but again, you send an email, you don't know if that email is opened up and read. We send this letter directly pointing at something with something attached.
Right.
I have a question. Sure. Why do we have to be with the city? Why can't we bid it out ourselves?
Well, if we went to a state plan, which has been a recommendation between a few people,
Okay.
we would at least know what the costs were.
Yep.
And we could budget. Being self-insured, you do not know. You're taking the risk. Sure, could we save money?
And I agree with
Maybe.
And Mr. Spirulino.
We have in the past. We have in the past been done tremendous with it in years past, but not lately, not in the past 4 or 5 years.
And again, to respond, when we were brought to the table, there were times we were brought to the table, our recommendation and suggestion was for us to explore the state plan and such. But again, that was our recommendations. We don't get final say. That final say lies.
But we can. I'm saying if we. That's what I'm asking.
We could.
Can we send it out?
No, we do not bid.
It's more money that's went in our budget anyway, so we wouldn't even have the money to cover it if we left. We would be laying off 100 teachers to get on the state plan at that point. The cost of the state plan is still more than our $8 million in our budget. So if we say, guess what, we're leaving, with what money? That's really what the end result is.
And one of those aspects there is, and if we left the city's plan, that would be at a detriment to the city, because the city benefits because we have larger employees. And then how would they react to that fiscally in what they allocate for us if we failed on their plan?
So,
that's it.
And I do believe that I have sat in on a few healthcare meetings, and I think they go by your past prior year expenses, and then they kind of average you into the pool where you're sitting at. So then, we're not going back to $8 million. Not even with the state plan. The state doesn't want to lose money either. I don't know what the state has. I don't know what the state has in mind for subsidizing healthcare plans for schools.
But again, that
They
would
do
make
it anyways.
a teacher suffer
Right.
with a lesser plan.
With a high deductible,
Was that?
a high deductible.
With the high
Yes.
deductible.
High
On the state
deductible, and then also the
No, he's talking about only the
the costs for single plans, family and family plus one, and, you know, all that all comes into, it's all,
Well, I mean, my recommendation, again, was to send this letter. I understand Anthony's point about other things, but I think SPED might be a little too premature. These numbers are just through September 30th. I would let that ride a couple of more months, in my opinion, because I think we could wait on that and see. But healthcare, when you see this coming in, this is something wrong. Like SPED, we're used to it seeing negative. You didn't get your excess costs yet. It's a little early. I'd be waiting on SPED. You need to have an actual meeting, like in the
We're
next
hoping for an
couple of
error.
weeks.
Amy,
Someone
just
needs to
wanted-
sit
just
down and
wanted-
find out what's happening with our
Absolutely
claims.
agree.
Bottom line, like we need to see what's happening with our claims.
I
I think that's what's important. You know, and then Anthony, watch the numbers and then make that decision in 60 days.
I wanted to ask Amy, is it strategic to use the 1 point whatever million per month? Or do you want to shock them with the potential annualized total of 16?
I could still add the annualized total in there.
there's no way, Joan, there's absolutely no way, even from what numbers that we have, we can predict the final number as of this time.
No, but in the
I could have her
letter, just to
modify
say
that
at
now
this
in our
pace,
letter.
the
Yeah.
annualized amount would be.
At this pace, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it says. That's what it,
Because
No,
that's
it
the thing
doesn't
that
give a
blasted
total.
to all of us.
But which can total
The
to, I
trend.
could just change that. I could
If-
add that line.
Yeah.
you-
Well, I could just say,
Yeah.
which can total to approximately
$16 million.
yeah, well, it's trending
I could
that.
have Kaylee
Yeah.
just adjust that line and then
Yeah,
send it.
okay.
No problem.
Jackie,
But
do you have
I
anything
think what
further
it
to
is
add?
that we have to, you know,
Yeah,
Ken
we're gonna
and
send that.
Jackie need to sit
No, I
down with
understand.
someone
I
and
was-
say,
Sure.
what's happening?
Hold on, hold on.
Absolutely.
That's what's important.
Jackie,
Good.
the account 5627, the school bus fuel, I know you said that was, you went for an RFP. Is that propane or is that diesel, that account? 286,000.
Kevin,
5627, school
Do-
bus fuel.
that's propane.
That's because we're mainly propane now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, and then,
Run by propane.
and then the account 5412, natural gas and propane, do we know that, would that be the same price?
So natural gas and propane, that's the dollar amount to run the building.
Right,
Right.
Okay,
but the
that's not
RFP, does that
separate.
include?
So Santa Fuel gave us a different price for that.
Okay.
And he actually came back after the RFP and lowered it.
Right,
Or
because
he
there's.
gave us a better rate.
Right, because the amount of fuel, okay, good,
Right,
that's,
right.
I just wanted to understand that, okay, because he should, okay,
You know, he did really well.
all right.
Okay. And we're running short of time.
So you want me to just add in there that you want me to total it out to the 8.8 million average?
Okay.
I'll have Kelly adjust that course.
Mr.
and
Superintendent,
we'll sign.
do you have any
Yes.
comments?
No, I shared my comments. I know we have a sensitive time schedule because we have several meetings.
Okay, the chairperson, this will be my final finance meeting. I know that later on tonight, we're going to be asked to ratify a teacher's contract. I am under the assumption that I think it would be only fair to saying to ratifying the teacher's contract to the full board, new board, because we're going to be handing the full board a lot, including this budget, and someone may have some ideas. I mean, I was on the teacher's contract committee. I think it's a fair contract, but someone else on the new board may have some different ideas to it before we sign off on it.
Sorry.
That's just my comments.
Good.
You have something to say, Anthony?
Yeah, what I'm saying is that we were informed during the process of
I see not.
the negotiation. So I think it's only fair, it's only my opinion, that it should be us who does it. The new people coming in, how are you gonna
Okay.
catch? How you
That's
gonna-
that's just, Anthony, that's just my comments as the chairperson of the finance committee.
Okay.
You can do what you like. You're gonna be on the board next year. I'm leaving, not gonna have any say in it. Either will two other people on this board. If you think it's fair to hand someone a contract and not wait a couple of days and let them review the contract, that's your opinion. That's not my opinion.
Yeah, Jim,
Okay, that's my chairperson's comments. Motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion for adjournment.
I'll second.